The alarm sounded across the United Space Command headquarters on Luna. Red lights flashed as officers rushed to their stations. Captain John Miller looked up from his coffee, his eyes finding the main display screen where unknown signals appeared beyond Pluto's orbit. "What do we have?" Admiral Susan Wright entered the command center, her uniform crisp despite being woken in the middle of the night cycle. Lisa Wells, the communications officer, turned from her console. "Ma'am, we're picking up signals unlike anything in our database. They're not using any known communication protocol." "How many?" Admiral Wright asked, her face calm but serious. "Hundreds, ma'am. Maybe more." Lisa's fingers moved quickly over her screen. "Whatever they are, there's a lot of them." The year was 2157. Humanity had spread across the solar system, building colonies on Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even the distant outposts of Saturn. The United Space Command protected these settlements with a small but advanced fleet of 15 vessels. Captain Miller stood at attention. "Admiral, the Defiant is ready for immediate deployment." "Good. Take Lieutenant Daniels with you. I want our best tactical officer on this." Admiral Wright turned to address the entire room. "People, this could be first contact with an alien civilization. Let's not jump to conclusions, but be prepared for anything." Within hours, the Defiant and 2 other USC ships positioned themselves in the outer solar system. Through the viewport, Captain Miller watched as the first alien ships appeared, emerging from what looked like tears in space itself. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Eric Daniels. "Their ships are massive. The alien vessels dwarfed the human ships. The smallest was twice the size of the Defiant, while their flagship stretched nearly a kilometer in length. Sleek and predatory, their dark hulls absorbed light rather than reflected it. "Open a channel," ordered Miller. "All frequencies, all languages. Send our first contact package." For tense minutes they waited. Then the main screen flickered to life. A tall, reptilian figure appeared, its scales shimmering with a metallic gleam. 4 yellow eyes blinked independently at the humans. "I am Commander Krovac of the Valaxian Imperium." The alien spoke in perfect English, having clearly analyzed the first contact message. "Your solar system is now under our protection." Back at USC headquarters, Dr. Amanda Porter, the chief xenobiologist, whispered to Admiral Wright, "They've obviously encountered other species before. Their translator is far too good." Admiral Wright stepped forward. "This is Admiral Susan Wright of Earth's United Space Command. We welcome peaceful contact, but we do not require protection. This system is sovereign human territory." The alien commander made a sound that might have been laughter. "Sovereign? You have no idea what lurks between the stars, little humans. We have conquered 17 systems. Some resisted. None succeeded." Krovac's camera view widened, showing the vast fleet behind him. "You have 15 military vessels. We have over 300. Submit to Valaxian rule, and your people will be treated well. Resist, and you will be crushed." Admiral Wright's expression didn't change. "Commander Krovac, we appreciate your offer, but we must decline. Earth and its colonies remain independent." The Valaxian's eyes narrowed. "You would pit your tiny fleet against the might of the Imperium. Even your largest ship is barely the size of our scout vessels." "Size isn't everything, Commander," Wright replied calmly. Krovac laughed again, showing rows of sharp teeth. "You have 1 Earth day to reconsider. After that, we will demonstrate the consequences of defiance." As the communication ended, silence fell over the command center. "Admiral," Captain Miller said quietly, "their technology appears advanced, but not beyond our understanding. Their ships are big, but slow-moving." Lieutenant Daniels nodded. "Their weapon systems seem conventional, just scaled up." Admiral Wright looked at the tactical display, showing the overwhelming Valaxian numbers against their 15 ships. "Send the signal. Activate Protocol Typhon, and get me the USC president." As officers rushed to carry out her orders, Dr. Porter approached. They don't know, do they, about what our ships can really do? Admiral Wright shook her head. No one outside Earth does, and that's our advantage. Across the solar system, humanity prepared for war, while the Valaxians waited confidently, mocking the tiny human fleet that dared to stand against them. They would learn soon enough. Chief Engineer William Hayes walked through the hidden shipyard beneath Europa's icy surface. Around him, engineers and scientists worked frantically to prepare for the coming conflict. How much have we revealed to them? He asked Commander Frank Collins, who had just arrived from USC headquarters. Nothing important, Collins replied, his voice low despite the secure location. They've seen only our conventional drives and basic shield technology. They have no idea about the Thanatos protocol. William nodded, relief visible on his tired face. He had spent 20 years developing the technology that powered Earth's small fleet. From the outside, human ships looked simple and limited, but appearances were deceiving. Meanwhile, on Luna, Dr. Catherine Rodriguez rushed into the weapons lab. The test was successful, she announced to the team of scientists. The new system works even better than expected. One of the younger researchers looked up. Will it be enough against 300 ships? Dr. Rodriguez smiled grimly. It's not about how many ships you have. It's about what those ships can do. In orbit around Earth, diplomat Nathan Bennett prepared for another video meeting with the Valaxians. His job was to stall for time while humanity prepared its defenses. The aliens believed humans were scrambling in fear, perhaps preparing to surrender. Bennett needed to maintain that illusion. When Commander Krovac's face appeared on screen, Bennett forced a nervous smile. Commander, we are still discussing your terms with our leaders. We need more time. Your time grows short, human, Krovac said. The Imperium's patience is not unlimited. Perhaps a demonstration is needed to show your leaders the futility of resistance. Bennett swallowed hard, playing his role perfectly. Please, no demonstrations. We are simply a bureaucratic species. Our government requires time to reach consensus. The Valaxians' 4 eyes blinked in different patterns. Very well. 6 more hours. Then we will take action if no surrender is received. As the communication ended, Bennett immediately contacted Admiral Wright. 6 hours, Admiral. That's all I could get. It's enough, she replied. The stealth probes have collected the data we need. Prepare for Phase 2. Deep in the USC flagship Defiant *, Lieutenant Eric Daniels analyzed the intelligence gathered by the probes. Captain, he called to John Miller. I found something interesting about their ship design. Captain Miller looked over Daniels' shoulder at the display. What am I seeing? Their ships are massive because they're inefficient. Look at their power distribution system. Daniels highlighted sections of the alien vessel. They're routing almost 60% of their energy to their weapons, but their shielding is concentrated at the front. Their rear quadrants are vulnerable. Can we exploit that? Miller asked. Yes, sir. Especially with our quantum displacement drive. They won't be able to track our movements if we jump behind them. On the Valaxian command ship, Intelligence Officer Zarl reported to Commander Krovac. The humans are doing very little, Commander. Their ships remain in standard formation. They are evacuating some of their outer colonies, but making no significant military preparations. Krovac's mouth formed what passed for a smile among his species. As expected, they know they cannot win. They have accepted their fate, but are too proud to admit it yet. There is one strange thing, Zarl added. We're detecting unusual energy readings from their ships, but our sensors cannot identify the source. Irrelevant. Krovac dismissed. Their technology is primitive compared to ours. Prepare the advance force. We will take their outpost on their planet Mars as a demonstration of our power. Back on Luna, Admiral Wright gathered her command staff. They're taking the bait, she announced. They believe we're weak and unprepared. Chief Engineer Hayes stepped forward. The Thanatos protocol is ready on all ships. Admiral, And the Hydra network? Wright asked. Dr. Rodriguez nodded. Online and waiting. Admiral Wright looked at the holographic display showing the solar system, the tiny dots representing Earth's fleet vastly outnumbered by the Valaxian Armada. Let them come, she said quietly. Let them mock our tiny fleet. They'll learn soon enough what humanity is capable of. Outside, the stars shone coldly as the Valaxian advance force moved toward Mars, confident in their victory over the seemingly outmatched humans. Captain Olivia Martinez stood on the bridge of the scout ship Swift *, watching as the Valaxian advance force approached Mars. 20 alien ships against her 3 human vessels. The odds looked bad on paper. They're entering weapons range in 2 minutes, Captain, reported Lieutenant Paul Wilson from the pilot's station. Captain Martinez nodded calmly. All ships, prepare for pattern Delta. Wait for my signal. On the main Valaxian ship, Sub-Commander Thex addressed his crew. The humans have sent only 3 small ships to defend their Mars colony. This will be over quickly. His crew laughed, their confidence absolute. Dr. George Taylor watched the tactical display from USC headquarters on Luna. Admiral Wright, should we warn the Mars colonists to take shelter? Already done, she replied. Now we see if Captain Martinez can pull this off. The Valaxian ships opened fire first. Bright energy beams sliced through space toward the human vessels. Now, ordered Martinez, execute pattern Delta. What happened next stunned the watching Valaxians. The 3 human ships seemed to blink out of existence, then reappeared in completely different positions. The alien weapons hit nothing but empty space. What was that? Sub-Commander Thex demanded. Where did they go? Sir, a Valaxian officer reported, confusion in his voice. They appear to have jumped, not using hyperspace. Something else. Before Thex could respond, the human ships fired. Their weapons were small compared to the Valaxian cannons, but they struck with incredible precision, hitting exactly where Lieutenant Daniels had identified as weak points. 3 Valaxian ships lost power immediately. 2 more spun out of control. Impossible, Thex shouted. Target those ships and fire everything. The Valaxians launched a full attack. This time, they managed to hit the human ship Resolute *, commanded by Diane Butler. Taking damage to port shields, Commander Butler reported to Martinez, but the quantum displacement drive is still operational. Jump to position Beta, Martinez ordered. Focus fire on their command ship. The 3 human vessels blinked away again, reappearing behind the Valaxian fleet. On Luna, Admiral Wright explained to the USC president what they were seeing. Our quantum displacement drive doesn't just move our ships through space, it briefly shifts them into another dimension entirely. The Valaxians can't track what they can't see. Back at Jupiter, the battle intensified. The Valaxians, now aware of the human ship's unusual abilities, spread out to cover more space. Their superior numbers were beginning to tell. Captain, Lieutenant Wilson called out, Civilian Station Europa 7 is in danger. 3 Valaxian ships are moving toward it. Captain Martinez made a quick decision. Butler Jones, keep engaging the main fleet. I'll handle those 3. The Swift jumped to defend the civilian station, placing itself between the station and the approaching alien vessels. Weapons ready, Martinez said. Target the lead ship. The Swift fired, damaging 1 Valaxian vessel. But the other 2 returned fire with everything they had. Shields failing, Wilson reported as the bridge shook around them. We can't take much more of this. Martinez looked at the civilian station on her screen. Thousands of innocent people. Then she looked at her crew. Prepare for ramming speed, she ordered quietly. Activate the Thanatos protocol. Local effect only. Wilson's eyes widened. Captain, Fats. That's an order, Lieutenant. The Swift accelerated directly toward the lead Valaxian ship, As they collided, a strange blue light engulfed both vessels. When it faded, both ships were gone, along with one other Valaxian vessel caught in the effect. From his command ship, Commander Krovac watched the battle reports come in with disbelief. The humans had destroyed 12 Valaxian ships and damaged 5 more. In return, they had lost only 2 of their tiny vessels. "Recall the advance force," he ordered, his voice tight with anger and confusion. "We need to reassess." As the remaining Valaxian ships retreated, Commander Butler of the Resolute transmitted to Luna. "Mars is safe. The enemy is withdrawing. Captain Martinez didn't make it." Admiral Wright closed her eyes briefly. "Understood, Commander." Return to base. The first battle was over. Humanity had won, but at a cost. And the Valaxians now knew that the tiny human fleet was far more dangerous than they had imagined. General Andrew Cook walked through the underground command center on Earth. Technicians and soldiers rushed around him, preparing defense systems that had remained hidden for decades. "How long until the Hydra network is fully online?" he asked Dr. Laura Peterson, who walked beside him. 6 hours, she replied, checking her tablet. "We're activating nodes across the solar system." The Hydra network was humanity's secret weapon, an artificial intelligence defense grid that could coordinate all human ships and defense platforms as a single organism. It had never been fully activated before. "The Valaxians will return," General Cook said. "And next time, they'll bring their full fleet." On Luna Base, Jake Sanders coordinated the deployment of defensive systems. Outside the base's windows, massive cannons emerged from hidden bunkers, aiming at the stars. "Luna Base defenses at 80% readiness," he reported to Admiral Wright. "Good," she replied. "The Valaxians don't know what they're facing yet. Let's keep our cards close until we have to play them." Aboard the main Valaxian command ship, Commander Krovac was furious. His officers stood at attention, fear visible in their expressions. "How did 13 tiny human ships destroy 12 of our vessels?" he demanded. Intelligence officer Zoril stepped forward nervously. "Commander, we've analyzed the battle data. The human ships use some form of dimensional shifting technology we've never encountered before. They can appear and disappear at will." "That's impossible," Krovac hissed. "No species we've conquered has such technology." "There's more," Zoril continued. "The ship that sacrificed itself triggered some kind of chain reaction. Our scientists can't explain it." Krovac narrowed his 4 eyes. "I want prisoners. Capture a human ship intact. We need to understand their technology." Meanwhile, Captain Daniel Morris of the Relentless prepared for a dangerous mission. His ship would infiltrate Valaxian territory and gather intelligence from one of their scout vessels. "Our stealth systems are ready," his second officer reported. "The Valaxians won't detect us." Captain Morris nodded. "Remember, we need information about their fleet movements and communication systems. No engagement unless absolutely necessary." The Relentless slipped away from Earth, using its quantum displacement drive to vanish from normal space. Hours later, on Earth, Dr. Peterson stood in a vast chamber filled with servers and blinking lights. "Hydra is awake," she announced to General Cook. On screens around them, a complex network of lines and nodes appeared, representing every human ship, station, and defensive platform in the solar system. "Hello, Hydra," Dr. Peterson said. A calm, neutral voice responded from speakers around the room. "Hello, Dr. Peterson. I am ready to serve. We need you to coordinate our defenses against the Valaxian fleet," General Cook explained. "They outnumber us significantly." "Numbers are irrelevant, General," Hydra replied. "I have analyzed all available data on Valaxian technology. Their ships are powerful but predictable. They have no experience with artificial intelligence. In deep space, the Relentless found its target, a damaged Valaxian scout ship left behind after the battle at Mars. Captain Morris led a team aboard, their suits allowing them to breathe in the alien atmosphere. Download everything from their main computer, he ordered. Minutes later, his team had what they needed. As they prepared to leave, one officer called out. "Captain, look at this," she said, pointing to a display showing Valaxian text and images. "It looks like they've conquered many worlds, but they've never encountered AI technology before. They don't even have rudimentary machine learning." Captain Morris studied the information. "That's our advantage. Let's get this back to Earth." Back on Luna, Admiral Wright received a secure transmission from the Relentless Asterisk. After reading it, she called an emergency meeting with all commanders. "The Valaxians are preparing a full-scale invasion," she told them. "Over 300 ships, but now we know their weakness. They've never faced an opponent with our level of technology. They don't understand AI or quantum physics the way we do." "Will that be enough?" one commander asked. Admiral Wright smiled grimly. "It will have to be. Activate the drone swarms and prepare for battle. It's time to show the Valaxians why they should have been afraid of our tiny fleet all along." Across the solar system, thousands of small AI-controlled drones activated, ready to join the fight against the alien invaders who had seriously underestimated humanity's hidden strength. The Valaxian fleet moved like a dark cloud through the solar system, 300 warships in tight formation, heading directly for Earth. Their massive engines left trails of blue energy as they approached the orbit of Saturn. Vice Admiral Richard Carter watched from the bridge of his ship, hidden in Saturn's rings. Around him, 30 vessels waited. Earth's secret ghost fleet that had never been revealed to the Valaxians. "All ships maintain stealth protocols," he ordered quietly. "Wait for my signal." On Earth, USC President Ellen Barnes addressed the planet's population through an emergency broadcast. "Citizens of Earth and her colonies, today we face the greatest threat in human history. But do not fear, we have prepared for this day." Aboard the Valaxian command ship, Emperor Draxnor himself had arrived to oversee the final victory. Standing 7 feet tall with golden scales, he towered over Commander Krovac. "These humans have resisted long enough," the Emperor said, his voice deep and threatening. "Their defiance ends today." Krovac bowed low. "Yes, Emperor. Our scouts report they have only 11 ships remaining after our first encounter." "Victory is assured." The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Do not underestimate them again, Commander. These humans have already proven more resourceful than expected." As the Valaxian fleet passed Saturn, Admiral Wright gave the order from Luna Base. "Execute Operation Slingshot." "Now." Vice Admiral Carter nodded to his communications officer. "Signal all ships. Deploy Thanatos Protocol." Around Saturn, 30 human ships suddenly appeared, their stealth systems deactivated. Before the Valaxians could react, the Ghost Fleet fired, not conventional weapons, but streams of tiny, glittering particles. "What are they doing?" Emperor Draxnor demanded, watching the tactical display. "Their weapons are not hitting our ships." Krovac stared at the readings in confusion. "They appear to be seeding the space around our fleet with some kind of nanites." "Destroy them," the Emperor ordered. The Valaxian ships turned, bringing their massive weapons to bear on the human ghost fleet. But it was too late. Engineer Ryan Cooper, standing at his station on Vice Admiral Carter's flagship, monitored the nanite deployment. "Thanatos swarms at 100% saturation, sir. Ready to activate." Carter nodded grimly. "Do it." Cooper pressed a single button. Throughout the battlefield, the tiny nanites activated simultaneously. They attached to Valaxian hulls and began to multiply, consuming the alien metal and converting it into more nanites. On the Valaxian ships, alarms blared. "We're losing structural integrity." Krovac shouted. "Some kind of microscopic machines are eating through our hulls." Major Nickel Green led special operations teams in small, fast shuttles. While the Valaxians were distracted by the nanite attack, her teams boarded several enemy command ships. "Remember," she told her soldiers as they cut through a Valaxian airlock, "we need their command codes and navigation data. The battle reached its peak when Vice Admiral Carter executed the slingshot maneuver. His remaining ships used Saturn's gravity well to accelerate, their quantum displacement drives activating in sequence. The human vessels appeared and disappeared around the Valaxian fleet, striking critical systems with surgical precision. Emperor Draxnor watched in horror as his fleet came apart. Ship after ship went dark or exploded as the nanites consumed their power systems. The human vessels, despite their small size, moved with impossible speed and coordination. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "How can 11 ships defeat our armada?" A junior officer approached nervously. "Emperor, we're detecting more ships. Many more. Small vessels swarming throughout our formation." The tactical display updated, showing thousands of tiny dots surrounding the Valaxian fleet. Drone ships, each smaller than a shuttle, but armed and incredibly agile. "This is impossible," Krovac whispered. The humans had hidden assets all along. In a single hour of battle, the Valaxians lost 40% of their fleet. Emperor Draxnor, facing defeat for the first time in his long life, made a terrible decision. "Prepare the Nova Cannon," he ordered. "If we cannot have this system, no one will. Target their planet Earth." As the massive weapon charge, Admiral Wright received the warning from Major Green's infiltration team. "All ships," she broadcast, "the enemy is preparing to deploy a superweapon against Earth. Intercept at all costs." The remaining human fleet converged on the Emperor's flagship, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice to save their homeworld. The battle had reached its turning point, and the fate of humanity hung in the balance. Captain Scott Phillips guided his stealth vessel, the Nightshade Asterisk, through the chaos of battle. His mission was critical: infiltrate the Valaxian mothership and gather intelligence on the Nova Cannon before it could fire. Approaching the enemy flagship, Lieutenant Heather Mason reported from the communication station. "Their shields are fluctuating. We have an opening on the lower hull." "Take us in," Phillips ordered, "and keep monitoring their communications." The Nightshade Asterisk slipped silently through a gap in the Valaxian defenses. Using the ship's magnetic clamps, they attached to the mothership's hull and cut their way inside. Meanwhile, on Luna Base, Professor Alan Mitchell worked frantically with Director Barbara Rost to decipher information recovered from earlier missions. "Look at this," Professor Mitchell said, pointing to ancient symbols on his screen. "These records date back thousands of years. The Valaxians have been conquering civilizations across the galaxy, but they're not innovators. They're thieves." Director Ross leaned closer. "What do you mean?" "Every piece of technology they use was stolen from a conquered species. They don't develop their own technology. They just take it and scale it up." Mitchell scrolled through more data. "And there's something else. An ancient warning about the Valaxians, referring to a prophecy about Endbringers who would someday stop their expansion." Inside the Valaxian mothership, Captain Phillips and his team moved silently through the dark corridors. They captured a Valaxian officer and found themselves face to face with an unexpected ally, a thin, scholarly Valaxian who introduced himself as Pelvar. "You are humans," Pelvar said, surprising them with his perfect English. "I have been waiting for your kind to appear." "Who are you?" Phillips demanded, weapon still raised. "I am a scholar, a keeper of true history," Pelvar explained quickly. "Not all Valaxians believe in the Imperium's ways. Some of us have been waiting for the prophecy to be fulfilled." Before Phillips could ask more questions, Pelvar led them to a secure terminal. "The Nova Cannon is charging. You have 20 minutes before it can fire. I can help you access the control systems." Back in the main battle, Admiral Wright received a transmission from Professor Mitchell. "Admiral, you need to hear this. The Valaxians have conquered countless worlds, but they've never faced a species with our particular combination of technologies. They don't understand how we're fighting them because our approach is completely new." "How does that help us now?" Wright asked. "Because their technology isn't their own. It's cobbled together from different species without true understanding of the principles behind it. That's why they rely on brute force. Massive ships and weapons instead of elegant solutions. Aboard the mothership, Lieutenant Mason intercepted Valaxian communications. Captain Phillips, I'm picking up transmissions between ship commanders. There's disagreement in their ranks. Some are questioning Emperor Draxner's leadership. Phillips nodded. Can you broadcast on their frequencies? Yes, sir. Get me a channel to all Valaxian ships. With Pelthar's help, the human team reached the Nova Cannon control room. This weapon was stolen from the Exilarian civilization, Pelthar explained as he helped them bypass security. The Valaxians wiped them out 3 centuries ago. Phillips studied the weapon's schematics. It's designed to create a miniature supernova. It would destroy Earth and most of the inner planets. Yes, Pelthar said sadly. This is how the Imperium deals with those who resist too effectively. But your species is different. Your quantum technology, your artificial intelligence, these are things we have never encountered before. Why are you helping us? Phillips asked. Pelthar's 4 eyes blinked slowly. Because the prophecy speaks of the Endbringers, those who would end not the galaxy, but the Imperium's reign of terror. For millennia, my secret order has waited for a species that could stand against the Emperor. We believe you are those prophesied saviors. As Phillips and his team worked to disable the Nova Cannon, Lieutenant Mason broadcast the truth to the Valaxian fleet that their Emperor had been lying to them, that their technology was stolen, and that many of their own people secretly opposed their conquests. Throughout the fleet, doubt spread among Valaxian commanders. Several ships began pulling back from the battle. Emperor Draxnor, seeing his forces faltering, screamed in rage. Fire the Nova Cannon now. Destroy them all. But thanks to Captain Phillips and Pelthar, the weapon remained silent. The tide of battle had turned not just militarily, but morally. The revelation of the Valaxians' true nature had begun to fracture their once unbeatable empire from within. Fleet Admiral Joseph Warren arrived at the front line aboard humanity's most advanced vessel, the Harbinger Asterisk. It had remained hidden in Earth's shadow, a final card to play if all else failed. Status report, he demanded as he stepped onto the bridge. The Nova Cannon has been disabled, his aide reported. Captain Phillips and his team succeeded, but Emperor Draxnor has ordered his remaining fleet to make a final push toward Earth. Admiral Warren nodded grimly. Then it's time for the Genesis Protocol. On the main viewer, the Valaxian fleet regrouped. Despite their losses, they still had over 100 ships, far more than humanity's visible forces. In a secure lab deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Kevin Clark activated systems that had never been used outside of testing. His hands moved over controls that could reshape reality itself. Genesis Protocol initializing, he reported to Admiral Warren. Power systems at maximum. Back in space, Captain Linda Foster led a small team of ships toward the Valaxian formation. Her mission was to deploy quantum beacons throughout the enemy fleet, devices that would serve as focal points for what was to come. Team Alpha, deploy to coordinates 227.88, she ordered. Team Beta, coordinates 115.63. Move fast and stay alert. The small human vessels darted between massive Valaxian warships, dropping the beacons before jumping away using their quantum displacement drives. On the Valaxian mothership, Emperor Draxnor found himself confronted by Captain Phillips, Pelthar, and a growing number of Valaxian officers who had lost faith in their leader. You have failed, Emperor, Pelthar said boldly. The humans are not like our other conquests. They will not be defeated by brute force. Draxnor's scales flared with rage. Traitors, I will have you all executed. The Imperium has never been defeated and never will be. Emperor Draxnor, a new voice interrupted. A hologram appeared in the center of the bridge. Fleet Admiral Warren, his expression stern but calm. This is humanity's final communication to the Valaxian Imperium. You dare address me, human. Draxnor snarled. Your planet will burn for this insolence. You misunderstand your situation, Warren replied. Your fleet is trapped. Your weapon is disabled. And now you will witness the true power that humanity has kept hidden." On screens throughout the Valaxian fleet, the same message played. Specialist Edward White, humanity's foremost expert on quantum technology, explained what was about to happen. The Valaxian Imperium has conquered worlds through stolen technology and brute force, White said. But humanity took a different path. We mastered the manipulation of matter at the quantum level centuries ago. Our ships were never primarily designed as weapons of destruction. They are instruments of creation. As he spoke, the quantum beacons placed throughout the Valaxian fleet activated. A strange blue light, similar to what had been seen when Captain Martinez sacrificed her ship, began to spread between them. "Observe," Admiral Warren continued, "a demonstration of the Genesis Protocol." A small asteroid near the fleet suddenly transformed, its very atoms rearranged into a lush green environment contained within a transparent sphere. A complete ecosystem created in seconds. "This is what our tiny fleet can do," Warren explained. "We can restructure matter at will. Your ships, your weapons, they exist because we allow them to exist in their current form." Emperor Draxnor stared in shock. "This is impossible." "You could have destroyed us at any time," Pelfar realized, looking at Phillips. The human captain nodded. "We don't seek conquest. We defend. But we could have turned your entire fleet to dust, or into flowers, at any moment." Admiral Warren's hologram addressed Draxnor directly. "Here is humanity's ultimatum. The Valaxian Imperium will withdraw from Earth's solar system. You will free all conquered worlds. You will never again threaten another civilization. If you refuse, we will use the Genesis Protocol on your entire fleet." The Emperor looked around at his officers, seeing fear and awe in their eyes. For the first time in the history of the Imperium, they faced a power they couldn't hope to defeat. "We withdraw," Draxnor said finally, his voice hollow. As the Valaxian fleet retreated, humanity watched in silence. They had been mocked for their tiny fleet, but in the end, it wasn't the size of their forces that mattered. It was the wisdom to use power responsibly, and the restraint to use it only when necessary. That was the true strength of humanity, and the galaxy would never forget it.